Hello everyone, welcome back to Startup Talks. So today I've with me very interesting person, Prateep Basu. Prateep is an ex-ISRO scientist. Then he worked in Northern Sky Research for some time before starting his own startup called Satsure, which is in SpaceTech space. Prateep graduated from Indian Institute of Space and Technology. I'm very excited to have Prateek here. Prateek, thank you so much for taking out time in the busy schedule of yours for coming on this show.
Thanks, Siddhant, for having me. It's my pleasure. Looking forward to our interaction very much.
Pradeep, so you worked for ISRO as a scientist for some time, then in Northern Sky Research, a space analytics company. Tell us about your experience, mainly in how it was in ISRO. What did you do over there? And how did you start your own space tech startup?
Well, my stint at ISRO was almost a decade back now. I had nothing to do with satellites. Actually, while I was in ISRO, I was a liquid propulsion systems engineer working on rockets. I was posted in Sriharikota, and in those 2.5 years, I did get to see a lot more because Sriharikota is the place from where you launch the satellites. And it's like the culmination point of everything that that comes together in a mission. I did not have any plans to be an entrepreneur, to be honest. At that time, I was just like any other guy looking to study more, and I quit ISRO in 2013 itself. The pursuit of higher studies, and I saw myself more as a researcher because I used to work a lot on computational fluid dynamics at that time, and I would appreciate if you don't ask me what that is because now I've completely forgotten what that is.
Yeah, no problem.
Right. So on the second part of your question, so it's the journey was kind of not that linear. I actually am from the first batch of Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, which is an institute under ISRO. So you get to it by first having a rank in JE, and we didn't have a career path charted at that point of time. We were being the first batch, no alumni. So all of us, either we were staying back in ISRO and looking to grow within the organization, or we were looking for growth opportunities outside of it. I was in the latter category, and that's how I kind of give certain examinations that people do for masters abroad, and ended up doing my master's in space engineering from France. So it was a transition from being a core tech person to becoming more of a generalist, because in my master's I got exposed to a lot of satellite engineering, earth imaging, etc. These concepts which we had not studied while doing my BTech, while also during the experience at ISRO.
Got it. So what made you decide that after you worked in Northern Sky Research for some time, you wanted to start your own startup and back in India?
So I wouldn't say there was a single eureka moment. My role at NSA was of that of market analyst and consultant, where I was working a lot with big aerospace companies, VCs, investment bankers. Now, let me give you a background of those times, 2014, 15, 16. It was like the gold rush in space in Silicon Valley, where everyone was just pumping money into random ideas. Some of them were good. Companies like Planet, etc., have become unicorns going public, while many of them failed. Mortality rate was high. So in that job, I was analyzing the business plans. I was analyzing the market changes, the technology changes. So it was more of a business role, business analyst role and consultant role than tech role. However, it was quite unique because applying your technology background and experience with certain business frameworks and just reality, it started making a lot of sense. And I was wondering after a point of time that why am I just telling people what to do? Why can't I just do it myself? So, I think that's a dilemma of every consultant. So,
Correct.
So, the idea of Satsure kind of emanated while I was doing this job at NSR. A couple of friends, we were all in Bangalore, coming from similar backgrounds, and we were like, there are so much changes happening. Satellite sizes going down, and lot of more private money flowing in, because earlier space was more of a government funded sector,
Correct.
not much
Correct.
private money. So we need to find a business model where we are not feeling bad about making money, where we are creating a tangible impact, and also we knew that vanilla flavored plans in the other part of the world, which is India, won't work. So we had to have a tangible product, for which there is a potential demand in the market.
Correct.
So that's how Satsure came about.
Okay. Coming to SpaceTech, can you tell us what SpaceTech actually it is as of now, and why is it gaining so much attention as of now, and what are the future prospects you see in this industry?
So SpaceTech, if I have to define it, anything and everything to do with the launching and operations of satellites, man-made satellites around the Earth orbit, that's SpaceTech. Now that will include the rockets or the launchers, that will include the satellite manufacturers. Then there are companies who are not manufacturing a satellite but operating the satellite, because they are generating, those assets are generating revenues for them, like communications or Earth imaging satellites. Interestingly, all the navigation satellites are government owned, because there are military applications around it for precise navigation. And the sector actually goes quite downstream, meaning that even DTH companies can be called space companies, because they use the transponders from satellite. So there was a saying, I think it was Anderson or which guy, like Mark Anderson, who said every company is a technology company. I think it would be fair to say that every company in the next decade would be a space company. You are using location analytics, it's coming from satellite. You are using any kind of comms, IoT, it would be a combination of 5G and enabled by communication satellites of the likes that Elon Musk is sending, like Starlink. If you are taking decisions based on image recognition, there is nothing as at the scale of what satellite images provide. It's all planetary scale images and changes that you are able to detect. So the entire domain of space technology goes pretty deep and wide.
Deep and dynamic.
Yeah.
Got it. So coming to your company, Satsure, so what kind of services you are providing to your customers? Who are your clients? Like what kind of services you are providing? Just to give a understanding to our audience, what you guys are doing.
So we would fall in that downstream part of the space industry where we are focused on the applications. So if your audience go and look up Satsure, there is a tagline, decision intelligence from space. So I'll start from that aspect to explain what we do. So decision intelligence is nothing but applying the framework of management sciences with artificial intelligence and social sciences in order to provide the best solutions to arrive at decisions, business decisions, organizational decisions, even individual decisions. Now, in that, data obviously plays a big role, but purely on data, you can't take certain decisions. It's subject to your type of organization and all, right? So that's where that's what we have been doing, where data from space forms the core of our products at Satsure, which are helping banks and insurance companies take decisions on the risk assessments at an individual land property level, help them monitor it remotely over the period of time. And that is not just using data from space, that is also fusing data from other sources, because we are looking at the aspect of the decisions that the banks make, that shall we give this loan, how much to give this loan, what interest to price it, when is the right time to collect from it, is this person really having a loss, or is he is he claiming something fraudulent. So these are the kind of decisions that we at Satsure are enabling with space technology or data from space forming a core of it. I hope this answers.
Got it. So in case of insurance, can you give an example, like where would your technology being used by insurance companies?
Yeah, absolutely. So, see, a lot of the reason why insurance companies today are looking at more and more technology adoption is because of the increased frequency of climatic events, which is causing a lot of
Correct.
losses. So, for them to verify all of this losses, which can happen in different geographic places, becomes very difficult if you go by the traditional way of manual survey. That is where
Mm-hmm.
they, use our platform where they can log in and check whether a crop was damaged due to a flood, how much area was damaged, what was the loss, and then create a shorter turnaround time to process that claim.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a farmer, if it's a property which has got flooded and damaged, they can assess that again remotely there. So
Correct.
this is one aspect of where insurance use. Another aspect is in pricing. So there is something called parametric insurance, where you want to further reduce the administrative cost of the insurance and make it simpler. So you based it on certain indices that can be either weather-driven indices like rainfall, temperature, wind, or it can be also satellite-driven indices which are more correlated to the actual loss or the indemnity levels there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it goes in so many places. What we do.
Correct. 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 So majorly your clients as of now would be banking, BFSI players as of now. Major clients base.
Yes, absolutely. We are working with some of the top banks, insurance and reinsurance companies, both in India as well as outside.
Outside. So yeah, this is very interesting because your market is not only restricted to India, because you're a space tech company, you're using images and satellite images to understand the data. So you can go out to all the clients across the world. Got it.
Yes, absolutely. The
Also,
scalability is
so
great.
building such tech, I think would be requiring some serious engineering capabilities. And so tell us what kind of challenges you might have faced in early days. Who is working on the engineering part of your business? And tell us about your challenges over there.
Absolutely. It is quite complex, even though it seems like we are a typical run-of-the-mill software company. We are not, because we are dealing with different kind of data, which is much more complex. And we had to get people who from coming from different competencies: remote sensing, data science, or machine learning, then DevOps, then not just DevOps, we get MLOps people, because we are running these AI models which have to continuously feed each other, feed training data and keep improving the accuracies. So all of that we had to build. Some of that we had within the founding team. So my co-founder Rashmit Singh Supani, he was doing data science from remote sensing from 2010 onwards. So he was already aware of it. Then we had some early people who joined in with the experience and knowledge of both remote sensing as well as developing a full software SaaS stack. It was not easy to get, because you really can't have one person who knows it all.
Mhm.
But everything comes in together because we are driven by a single vision of what we want to create. Yeah.
Correct. Also, it's like building a product is one thing, and selling it to clients is a different thing. So how do you reach out to your clients? How do you convert those sales? Because selling is considered to be the most difficult. Product is, a lot of people are building some or other kind of product, but ultimately whether you are able to sell the product to your customers, that is very important. Tell us about your, like, how you were able to sell this, or even when you go right now to a client, how do you pitch to them?
See, right now is much more easier. I'll tell you how we got the initial breakthroughs. It wasn't easy. It was always through networks. See, sales guys, what do they have? The good sales guys, they have good people skills and they have good network. Okay, so among the founders, me and Abhishek both had certain business focus and good network. So we started first reaching out to the right people through these networks. And the first thing was, we didn't go and sell a product. We didn't have a product to sell. We are doing concept selling. We're like, hey, look, this is what can be done. If this is a business problem, we have the capability. Please give us the opportunity to build something for you. So technically, our products were built inside out, with the product managers being those guys from the banks and insurance companies who were brave enough to throw their hat into the ring. And that was because we were able to build the trust that we are subject matter experts. We're not just coming and riding a wave of some fad. Okay. So once that was there, then it becomes easier. The first adopter or the early adopters, getting them usually is the most difficult. Then you can always say that, hey, look, we are working with the bank A, bank B, or insurance company A, B, and most people know each other. They can check, or sometimes
Yeah,
even without checking, they will be like, if my competitor is doing it, I also should have this.
want to do it. Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ultimately, it helps bank to underwrite their loans, their insurance better, and so it ultimately helps them to increase the profits. So also, Pradeep, because we are using as of now images from other satellites which are already there in orbit. Uh, in future, what if they increase their prices? That will reduce your margins. What are your future plans here?
That's a very interesting question. It goes with the dynamics of this industry. So you have to understand that Earth observation in itself has dual use, meaning it can be used for civilian as well as for military purposes.
Military purpose.
And yeah, military. So because of the military purposes, the two biggest Earth observation pair companies, they are primary defense contractors, and that obviously means their stack rate or retail image rates are quite high. And since the other markets are not that great developed, when I say other markets like agriculture, financial services, these are all upcoming markets. Uh,
Upcoming.
yeah, the big companies who are non-Indian companies, American, European, they have no incentive to reduce the price. I have personally not seen any reduction of prices in the last 5 years. They may end up increasing the price as well because they do like have a duopoly kind of situation in this place. So we see a lot of alternatives coming up. For example, because of the reduced cost of building and launching satellites, there are small sat companies who are easier to work with in that sense. Then you have some public satellite programs which are providing open data. This is another hedge. However, looking at our growth itself, we feel that since data from space is our natural resource, so we need to also own certain part of it. So we are also developing our own payloads and planning to launch it using some other companies established satellite platforms in 2023. So yeah,
Oh,
all the three strategies together tackle this
great.
issue.
Great, great. So now we are talking about space. So one person who has changed it completely is Elon Musk. Tell us, what do you think about him? What he's thinking about the future? Your views on him?
That's a difficult one to answer because my perception of Elon Musk is based on his Twitter, his interviews, and if you base on that, then you actually don't know who the person is. He is very eccentric, right?
Yeah,
He can move the stock market by billions of dollars just with one tweet. So,
yeah,
uh, what we have to acknowledge is that Elon Musk has completely changed the space industry with his reusable rockets, Falcon series, and what he is having is a very grand vision, which I feel is more of a personal vision than a vision for humanity, like he is projecting. Which is great because he is able to rally good people behind him, and definitely Starlink, the way the early reviews are coming, getting 100 Mbps from space. I mean, really, that is competition for fiber as long as they can meet the price point of fiber, which
correct.
I believe. Again, knowing Elon Musk and what he has done in the last 10 years for the space industry, it might be very much possible. I'm not too, enamored by his "Let's go to Mars" pitch,
Hmm.
and that's because I think at this point of time we have only one planet to where we can live, and we should try to at least put some efforts in making it more habitable, a better place to live, rather than thinking of going to some deserted island and terraforming it. It's just engineering wise
Yeah,
not possible in the next 100 years.
and that's one of his plan. He's doing a lot of things. So yeah, yeah,
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's an amazing guy. Perhaps must be very difficult to work with, I'm sure. But a lot of, I think he has a global fan following. A lot of people like me definitely look up to him for what he has achieved. Uh, Definitely not for
brother.
what he keeps tweeting.
That's his time. Yeah. So, yeah, any words of advice for students and entrepreneurs out there? Any words of advice from you?
Well, you know, I think it's important that we take calculated risk, and that's how success stories are built. I mean, there will be failures. I would only want to say that don't get bogged down by the thought of failing. Just keep moving.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Correct.
what entrepreneurship is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all about it from my side. Thank you, Prateep, so much for coming on the show and giving insightful advice to everyone. Thanks, Prateep.
Thank you so much, Siddhant. It's been a pleasure. Bye.
Bye bye.